So, what drew you in to being a referee?
Well, it kind of happened by accident because one of my hobbies when I was attending these matches was taking pictures of the talent and coming back the next event and selling those pictures to try and fuel my wrestling habit. It kind of paid for it. And I found out by somebody who worked for Jack Tunney at the time that it's not quite legal to do that. That was just some copyright things that he explained to me, but he was very nice about it. He said, "You know what? You don't seem like a bad guy. I won't turn you in. Just don't do it right in front of the venue where everybody could see you, and you're going to get in trouble." And we became good friends. And then he introduced me to Jack Tunney to see if he could bring me on as his assistant because he took the photographs for the program in the magazine here in Toronto. And Jack basically said, "Well, we don't need another photographer, but we'll find something for the kid to do." And started off as doing odd jobs, whatever it was, handing me the keys to his car and saying, go pick up Andre the Giant at the airport and bring him down and stuff like that. And one day, Pat Patterson, it had been about a year or so of doing all kinds of whatever needed to be done. I was the gopher kind of guy, just it needs to be done. Jimmy will do it, kind of thing. And Pat just said, "Well, Jack, we have the kid during the show. He's just sitting here waiting for something to do. Why don't we use him? We'll make him a referee." And Jack says to Pat, he says, "Yeah, but do you want to smarten the kid up?" And Pat says, "Well, he's kind of hanging out with the boys in the locker room. He kind of has an idea what's going on." So then Pat just told me, he says, "Get your black sneakers, black pants, the blue shirt, and the black bow tie. Carry it with you at all times." And that's what got the ball rolling.
Yeah, I mean, everybody starts somewhere and you move up the ladder, and this incredible role that you got to do for so many years and are still doing today. It's a big responsibility because you have to keep both eyes on what's going on right in front of you, whether it's two guys or two girls. Uh, I'd imagine, it can be stressful at times.
It can be because it's not just a simple, hey, we go in there and we pretend to be an official and count one, two, three, and that's it. That's what the job entails. There's so much more to it because the referee is the conduit that communicates between the two talents. Like, obviously they can communicate with each other, but there are times when they're separated, and somebody will tell you, "Hey, let him know this," and they'll tell you what they want next. But you have to communicate that without looking overtly like you're walking over and saying, "Hey, so and so said this." So it has to look like it's in the process of doing your job. Then especially at TVs, you're communicating times and any messages that are coming from the gorilla position, from the agent or whoever's talking to you in your earpiece. And the job of a referee is like they're kind of like the glue that holds the match together because without the referee, you can't really tell a story, but the referee is there to help the guys or the gals tell their story and not be part of the story. You're invisible until you need to be seen.
Exactly. It's like you're the person in the middle that's
Yeah,
basically trying to get everything going, and you've been a part of so many incredible matches. What were some of your favorite matches to be a part of in your WWE career?
oh my goodness, where do I begin? I've been blessed. Uh, obviously WrestleMania 24, getting to officiate the main event between Edge and The Undertaker for the World Heavyweight Championship. That's a big one. One I was extremely happy to work was Kurt Angle and Rey Mysterio that opened up. I believe it was 2002 SummerSlam. The opening match
Hmm.
was one of my favorites. Getting to do an all Canadian match for the Intercontinental Championship, Edge and Lance Storm. Again, that was a SummerSlam match, so that was kind of fun having an all Canadian match up there. Several matches with Eddie Guerrero.
Mm.
I just loved working with Eddie. He was a special, not only a special person, but he was special in ring talent. He was just on another level. He was the kind of guy that, as a referee, I would go to him prior to the match and ask, you know, "Okay, Eddie, what do you need done? What are we doing tonight?" And he says, "Well, a frog splash finish." He said, "Okay, anything else?" He says, "No, you'll know it when you see it." And I'm like, "Okay," you know.
He was just so passionate about his craft, and
Mhm.
he just hearing stories about him just was a very positive guy, and getting the chance to being in the middle of that, just getting to be around him. What was he like backstage?
He was at times when it came to business, he was intense. He was very serious about what he did out there. But at the same time, he was caring enough. He wanted everybody to excel. So that's why a lot of people would go to him for advice. I mean, obviously we had our locker room leader, a guy like Undertaker, was a locker room leader and that sort of. And for those who think, hey, he appointed himself, no, he didn't appoint himself the locker room leader. The locker room appointed him our leader. That's how much respect they had for him. But Eddie had just as much respect, where he would sit and he would talk to people, and he was open to suggestions too, which was kind of fun because every once in a while I would be refereeing one of his matches, and this was during the lie, cheat, and steal era, especially, which was a lot of fun. And he'd be going over the match, and I'd be sitting over just listening and taking it all in, and he'd look over at me and he'd say, "What?" And I go, "What do you mean what?" He goes, "You got that look on your face. What?" I said, "Nah, nothing. Just something popped into my head." He says, "Well, tell me, what is it?" So I'd blurt it out, and he'd say, "You know what? I like that. We're going to do that tonight." Or, "You know what? Maybe we could tweak that." Or maybe, "Nah, I don't know if that'll work in this situation." But he was open to all suggestions, and he'll make anything work.